Hi Flosstube, it's Kara, the Granite State Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. And email is granitestatestitchers with an S at gmail.com. All that information is linked below. So, happy 2024. I'll tell you something, this past weekend went by so fast. I hope that's not an indication of how quickly this year will go by. It just seems to time, right? Time just seems to go by quicker and quicker the older we get. But anyway, so if you are returning, thank you so much for tuning in for another video and coming back for all the fun and craziness at times. And if you are new and just happen to find me, welcome. And hopefully you like what you see and stick around and subscribe. So this video is going to be a video about my plans for 2024. So the last video I did was my whip video, which, I said, oh, I probably have an average amount of whips. I had what, 32? And as I was watching, because I knew that I didn't have a crazy amount of whips, but as I was watching all the whip videos, I'm like, I have nothing. I have nothing compared to some of these other stitchers. I was watching one. She had whips going back to 2017. Now, granted, I have my two oldest whips from the 90s, but then after that, the ones that I started last year in 2023. But she had it, I did mine in order of, oldest whip to present. And it was so funny because she was doing hers by year. Okay, these are my 2017 whips. These are my 2018. And she did that all the way up to 2023. I think she ended up with close to 200 whips. Oh, man. I might be there someday. Who knows? And then I was watching another one, Alara. If you haven't watched her and you are into full coverage, definitely go check her channel out. I'll link her below. But she did a whip parade. She had 81 whips. And then her 2024 plans video was 3 videos, each over an hour and a half long, because she decided that for 2024, she was going to start every pattern that she had, and most of them are kitted up. And if they're not, she's just going to kit them up. So she had 310 projects that she is going to be working on in 2024, including the 81 whips. They're part of that. So what is that, 229 new ones that she's going to start? And they're all full coverage. And she's like, I know I'll never finish these in my lifetime, but I just love working on them. And you get to a point where you're watching her and she's working on some, and it takes a while for the full coverage, to even make a dent in them. You can have 12,000 stitches and it's like you just have this little corner. But once they get to the point where you can actually see the progress, then you're sitting there every time they do a video and you're rooting for them, like, oh yeah, you got to get that one done. It's going to be so beautiful, so gorgeous. So, but she sat there. The reason it took so long is that she actually sat there and pulled numbers out of a hat to assign to each project of how many stitches each project was going to get. So it was kind of like keeping her committed to actually starting them and putting in the 1,200 stitches or 2,000 stitches, whatever. So it was fun watching hers. You actually, you had to do it in segments, that's for sure. So anyway, and then I watched another one that had over 100. So I'm like, yeah, 32, that's nothing. But so we'll see how many I end up at the end of 2024 because I do want to do some more starts. But all right, so my goal for 2024 is to finish 24 whips, or even if they're new starts, 24 projects. Okay, that's what we'll say. I want to finish 24 projects in 2024, which I think will be, even if I only complete half of that number, like if I only finish 12, that's still good. That's still good. So that's my goal. My other resolution is to stitch from stash in 2024. Now, I got back into cross stitching. I dabbled here and there over the years, but I fully got back into cross stitching last April. My very first cross stitch piece that I started in some time was right after tax season last year when I went on vacation. So, even though I had discovered Flosstube over a year and a half ago, I was looking for sewing room or craft room ideas since that thing is still a work in progress. And I had happened to come across Country Stitchers, Liz and Deb had been doing a craft room tour. And that's how I discovered Flosstube, because she had a whole nook dedicated to, her cross stitching, and it was like, wow, people still cross stitch. I mean, I knew that you could go on YouTube and watch knitting and crocheting and quilting, definitely quilting. I had no idea. I had no idea about the cross stitch community, that it was so large, that it was so involved and active with retreats and, all these new designers, which of course I hadn't seen. So number one, it was eye-opening, but number two was like, wow, like a kid in a candy shop, like I just immediately started ordering patterns and fabrics, like all these fabrics that, weren't around in the 80s and 90s. And so now I have enough. Certainly have enough patterns. I certainly have enough fabric. And, maybe I would need to get some skeins, of floss if I needed to start a new project, but I have been doing better. I actually started a spreadsheet, and I have a page for all my patterns. I have a page for all the fabrics I have broken down by count, and then the color, and then I have a page for all my flosses. I'm trying to do a better job of keeping track because you have so many projects kitted up, and you know that you have that floss somewhere and you don't know which kit it's in, where it is, and then you end up ordering another skein. And I think I have like 16 skeins of 310, so I want to just start using what I have. So that's my New Year's resolution: stitch from stash. um, And I do have a lot of, I might do another mid-year kit parade. I did do a kit parade last year when I first started filming Flosstube videos. Because again, even though I didn't start stitching until last April, I was buying stuff way before then. So I might do a mid-year kit parade. I know that some people are doing, have gotten into doing whip parades, but that would all depend on, what progress has been going on for the first 6 months. But I was also watching another floss tube. Is it might be Calico Stitcher? I'll link it below. But she just does dimensions, and she did a kit parade instead of a whip parade. She did a kit parade of all her dimensions kits. She has over 200, everything, dimensions gold, whatever. And what's funny is that she can't bring herself to stitch them because she just loves having them and loves looking at them. And it's like, okay, it's great having all these kits, but I mean, it's her choice, obviously. And some of the, and some of the ones that she has are definitely collectors, out of print. So, but, if she doesn't stitch them, someday they'll either get passed. I don't know if she has any kids or she has anybody that will end up inheriting her stash. But, it's like you don't want them just ending up at Goodwill either. But again, even if they did, somebody might buy it and they might stitch it. So, I guess whatever. Okay. I sat down. So for 2024, I sat down and I figured out I want to have a rotation. I want to have almost like a stitching agenda, so to speak, but a rotation where I know that whatever I'm working on is going to get touched. So, and there are certain patterns that I decided I want to always have in my rotation. So, the first one I came up with is the pattern that you always work on every day of the week. I know that some stitches do 27, 20 minutes a day, every day. I know that Erin, the 2 martini stitcher, she does 25/7. And I figured, well, if you're going to do 25, you might as well do 30. So I have a devoted pattern that will be 37, 30 minutes every single day until it's finished. And then once that one's finished, I can slide something else into that's getting worked on every single day. So that will help with accomplishing my goal of getting 24 finishes this year. If I'm always working on something religiously every single day for 30 minutes. So that's the first one I'm going to have in my rotation. The second one, I decided that I want to have a sampler in my rotation, which if you guys knew me back in my prior stitchy life, I hated samplers. Not that I hated them, I wasn't attracted to them. You know, it's like how many times can you stitch an alphabet or numbers? But now I have grown an appreciation for samplers because some of those samplers out there are beautiful and they are a lot of work. And yeah, I'll stitch them. So the one that's going to be in the rotation for my sampler category is going to be my New England sampler because that is on my list to get finished for 2024. And once I have my 37 pattern all completed, then that one will move into the 37 rotation. So then I'm going to have a patriotic sampler, a red sampler, a monochromatic black and white sampler, or I should say pattern, doesn't have to be a sampler, a full coverage, a seasonal, a small, and a religious. So that should be 8 or 9 that I'm going to have in a consistent rotation throughout the month. So let me show you what my New Year's Day starts were. Even though I didn't start them yesterday, they'll be started today. One, again, I've had kitted up for 1.5 years. I fell in love the first time I saw somebody stitching this. And I'm finally going to get around to doing it. I said, nope, this year's going to be the year I do this pattern. You guys have all seen this. Let me take it out of the plastic. Sorry, I should have had this taken out. Okay, Houses of Hawk Run Hollow. Can't wait to start this one. Like I said, I fell in love with this whole Hawk Run Hollow series first time I saw it. And I love Carriage House. I love their patterns anyway. So I'm going to be doing this on, it calls for 40 count pearl barley from Lakeside. And again, I'm just stitching from stash. I did have 40 count doubloon, which is what I originally ordered to do this, but then when it came in, that doubloon fabric is so beautiful. The modeling is so beautiful. And this is basically full coverage. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to cover that all up with these houses. So I just got, and plus I figured that if I do the other ones, which I want them to be consistent. I want them to be all in the same fabric. So I pulled out 36 count platinum, you know, and that will be a nice, you know, neutral color that I can do all of them on. So that's my first New Year's start. The second one, and that's the one that I did have planned for my New Year's start all along. And then I was watching, I think it was Erica Floss and Flax Canada. I'll link it below. She was, I'm pretty sure it was her. She was showing a picture of this. Her friend had just finished this. And, or maybe she did. I'll go back and look. Sorry, Erica, if I'm wrong. Anyway, and I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. So I found it online and I ordered it. And this is going to be my second start for New Year's. And no, I didn't just order it. I had ordered it a couple months ago. So I don't want you to think I'm already breaking my resolution of stitching from stash. So this is just cross stitch, Peacock Tapestry. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait to start this. That peacock with those tail feathers and just the colors in his body, that blue, it's going to be so beautiful. Now, the flosses, as you can see, they're really, really pretty. You got some golds and this deep purple and this green. I might switch that green out to the emerald green that I'm going to be using for Minerva, the Mirabilia piece that I had ordered that I'm going to stitch in honor of my grandmother, because that emerald green is beautiful. Although it looks like there's many various shades of green in here. Maybe that's an emerald green right there. But I just want to make sure that I have purples, blues, burgundies, and greens that are really, really rich. So I will experiment with this if I need to, but that's going to be beautiful. So these two patterns, Houses of Popcorn Hollow and Peacock Tapestry, those are going to get stitched every month on the first and second day of the month. No particular order, whichever order. Then on the fourth day of each month is going to be End of Forest Grew. And I'm not pulling out, you know, what I've been stitching on these guys. You just saw them in my whip parade. So this was one that I started for my birthday last year on the 4th. And so this will get pulled out every month on the 4th. On its anniversary. So that will be part of the rotation. And then I decided I'm going to help get Halloween stuff into the rotation. I'm going to do a deep 13 stitch. So on the 13th of every month, I am going to stitch a Halloween, and this is going to be the first one I'm going to do. The Witch Next Door, again, I've had this kitted up for over a year, and I absolutely love this. I love this the first time I saw it. excuse me, that was my stomach if you heard that. So this will this will get pulled out on the 13th of every month. And hopefully I'll have that finished by Halloween. And then on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of each month are going to be my Christmas pieces. I'm going to continue working on those all year because of the fact that they're large. And I can't just pull them out at Christmas or pull them out for Christmas in July. I'm going to continue working on them all year. So just to refresh what they are, we got Dreaming of a White Christmas. And this one is so, it's on Aida. What is it, 16 count Aida or 14 count? Anyway, it's my comfort stitch. It's easy. Still tired of all the white, but that's okay. And then we have Snow Queen. I don't think I would get tired of, even though it's Christmas or winter, I wouldn't get tired of stitching this. It's just so beautiful. And then Quaker Christmas 2. So these are all large patterns, so I want to have them definitely in a monthly rotation to continue working on those. All right. Now, so to fill, I gave you the 8 or 9 rotation stitching that I'm going to be doing every month. And I also decided that I'm going to do a temperature chart. And I found this one on Fat Quarter Shop, and they had one for quilting. You can do these houses in quilt squares with different colored fabrics to represent the temperatures. And then they had this cross stitch one. So this will be my first time attempting to do a temperature chart. And I thought that it will be so cute. At the end of the year, you'll have these 12 houses, and it's I thought it would be so cute to take this then, once it's finished, and make a wall hanging and put it with a quilt pattern, maybe a log cabin pattern around the borders, and get colors that match this and make a wall hanging out of it. So I think that'll be really cute. All right, so my 37 devoted stitch, as you can probably guess, is going to be United in Love, so I can get that finished. That will be the first, hopefully the first finish of 2024, unless it's my small for retreat. So that I'll be working on. The second one for my sampler category is going to be my New England sampler. And like I said, once I'm finished with this will slide into the 37 category, and then I will be able to slide something else into that sampler spot. So that's how I'm going to keep, bringing new patterns in, hopefully being able to work on, many throughout the year. So my patriotic category, the one I'm going to do for my patriotic category is Patriotic Mantle by Bent Creek. So I'll be working on that every month. And again, most of them are pulled from my whips. Might as well continue working on them. Oops, that's part of that. So for my red sampler, and Laura, I'm following a rule, so you would be so happy. I will continue working on my 2023 Collector's Heart because 2024 will be coming out. So let's get this one finished up. Then my monochromatic black and white is going to be United We Stand by Stitching Jewels Design. All right, so I figured that either I'm going to love this because it's just black and white, easy stitch, right? Or it's going to drive me crazy because it's just black and white. So we'll have to see which one it is. Now for full coverage, that's going to be my Peacock Tapestry. So that will serve 2 slots in my rotation. It will always get pulled out on either the first or the second and then get stitched again throughout the month, filling in that slot for the full coverage piece. My seasonal that I'm going to be working on is my Thanksgiving sampler, my Thanksgiving 1621. I'll continue working on that, hopefully getting that done by Thanksgiving. For my small, I'm going to do Honey Fair. This is by October House, and this is going to be my small for retreat. I figure this will be really cute. I also got a bumblebee needle minder. I can put, a couple pins in this and put in a tiny jar of honey. And I think that'll be cute. That'll be a nice smalls exchange gift. So that's what I'll be working on for my small. And then for my religious, and I've had this for a while. Let's see, what's the date on this? The copyright date. 1995, Leisure Arts, The Last Supper. And the ones that I have seen stitched up that people have done, they're absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So this will be my religious pattern that I work on every month. Okay, so these are the patterns that are going to fit my monthly categories. And then the other ones I am also going to work in throughout the month are my 5 oldest whips that I started last April. And the first one is Dog Sampler. So that will get stitched on every month. Second one is going to be my Hinzite, Welcome to the Lake. That will get stitched on every month. Next is going to be Letters from Nora, the letter A by Nora Corbett. I want to get that finished up for my granddaughter's new bedroom in their new house. Number 4 is going to be Home Sweet Home by Sweet Wing Studio. That could have also been my patriotic piece, but I wanted to keep it separate. The more that I'm working on, the more that are getting touched. And this one I could have used for my seasonal, but I chose to do the Thanksgiving one, and this will just be worked into the monthly rotation. And this is Hello Pumpkin by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So there we go. That is my rotation, the pieces I will be working on in January. And I'm not going to switch these out every month. I'm just going to continue working on them until one's finished. And like I said, I can slide another one into that slot. So that's it. a nice short video. You know, like I said, I'm just going to try to be conservative for 2024. I don't want to spend a lot of money. You know, we are in a recession. Um, my daughter just informed me that their wedding will be in September of this year. So I'm gonna have to put money aside for that. They're paying for a lot of it themselves. It's going to be at Glacier National Park in Montana. Um, both she and Josh, I already call him my son-in-law. They've been engaged for a while. I'm glad that they finally set a date. But anyway, they're big into camping and hiking, and that's their passion. So of course they're going to get married in a national park, right? I'm sure that there's a cross stitch for Glacier National Park. Um, in fact, I know that there is a cross stitch for national parks in the US because I saw Jen from Two Tall Stitches finish that this year. I'll have to track that pattern down, I guess. Um, so I'll be saving for that. I might actually be making her wedding dress. So I got to get that sewing room finished. That will push me to get that room finished so I can get all my sewing stuff set up because I will want to do that. If she wants me to make her wedding dress, I will do that. So that is going to be a priority. And other than that, I don't know. We're going into tax season, so I don't know how often. I mean, January shouldn't be tough, but February, March, and April, those are the crunch months. So I may only get one video done. I'm going to make an effort to definitely stick to the rotation, even if it's only for 20 minutes a day on whichever one I'm stitching on, except for the 37 or even a half hour. That'd be a full hour stitching a day, right? I can squeeze that in. So anyway, those are plans for 2024. If anything else comes up, you'll know in the next video. My next video will be a regular video. So in Flosstube 9, the last one I did, wrapping up December with the Flossmas, the 25 days of Flossmas, go back to that video. There is a giveaway. All the details for that giveaway are in that video. So you have to respond to that video. The giveaway will be occurring in my next video, which will probably be this coming Sunday, because I should be able to get all this started, to at least show you progress on these. So check out that video. It'll be video number 10, and that's where the giveaway will be. But you have to leave your comment in video number 9. Okay? Hope that's not confusing for anybody. And with that, farewell for now and happy stitching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.